Today we are learning about place value. We're going to learn how to represent a number as well as how to determine the value of that number. To start off with the basics, what you see here is a place value mat, and we can use this place value mat to help us to determine the value of each digit within a number. When you create a number, 3 place values grouped together can be called a period. This group is called the thousands period. This group is called the ones period. And within each period, you will have a hundreds, tens, and a ones. Hundreds, tens, and ones. So we use those letters H, T, and O to help us represent the hundreds and the tens and the ones within each period. Now within the ones period, you do not say ones, one ones, or 10 ones. So we don't need to write an O here at the end of these letters. However, in the thousands period, we do say 100,000s, 10,000, 1,000. So we're going to put a little T here to represent that these are all in the thousands period. Now it makes it simple to represent the value of each number. If you look right here at this digit, it is a 1. This 1 is in the 1,000s place. So it has a value of 1,000 or 1,000. This digit has a value of 3 hundreds or 300. This digit has a value of 5 tens or 50, and this digit has a value of 4 ones or 4. Now we're going to move on to how we can represent a number. There are 5 different ways that we represent our numbers in 3rd grade. The first way that we represent a number is standard form. This is the normal way that we write numbers. It's standard how we write the numbers. A way you can remember this vocabulary word is when you need to write something in standard form, you just stand up and write it down. And that can help you to remember that all you're doing is writing down that number. Next, we have pictorial form, where we represent this number by using a group of pictures that show the value of the number. We have word form, where we just simply write down the words that we would say out loud, 1,354. Then we have expanded form, where we take these numbers and we write them as a sum of the values of each digit. So this digit has a value of 1,000, so I write down 1,000, plus this digit has a value of 300, so I write down 300, plus this digit has a value of 50, plus this digit has a value of 4, and that is expanded form. And the new form that we learn in 3rd grade is expanded notation. The hardest part about expanded notation is knowing the difference between notation and form because they both say expanded. Both of these are taking the numbers and drawing them out. But this one uses notation marks in order to do so. It has these parentheses here, and we use these parentheses to show the groups of the value of each of the places. So for instance, we have 1 group of 1,000, 3 groups of 100, 5 groups of 10, and 4 groups of 1. Let's go into a little bit more detail over each of these ways to represent a number. Standard form, again, is simply taking this number out of the mat and writing it down. Stand up and write it down, 1,354. Remembering to put our comma in where it belongs. And we've now written this number in standard form. Pictorial form is taking each of these digits here and representing them with a picture. So we're going to start out with this 1. And to represent that 1, we need 1,000s block. This block has 1,000 small ones in it. And so it represents the number 1,000. The next group is the hundreds, and we have 3 of those. So we will need 3 of the hundreds blocks. Give us a total of 300. We will need 5 of the tens blocks to give us a total of 50, and 4 of the ones blocks to give us a total of 4. 1,000 plus 300 plus 50 plus 4. And now we've represented this number in pictorial form. For word form, I've added a few extra digits onto our number. Right here, you'll notice that we have two separate periods. This period right here is the thousands period, and this period right here is the ones period. When writing a number in word form, it's important that you separate the periods and state them one period at a time. It makes saying your words or saying your numbers much easier. So we're going to start by covering up our ones period completely. And if you look here in the thousands period, if you just say this number simply 261 the way that you see it, and then add the word thousands behind it, then you will have this said perfectly. So we just write 261 thousands, or 261,000. Now let's cover up the thousands period and look at the ones. We just simply say this number 354. And to write it in word form, we write it down that way, 354. Again, we don't need to say the period's name because we don't need to use the word ones. And now I have written this entire number in word form, 261,354. And we can move on to the next form. Next, we have expanded form. And I've left this larger number here with our expanded form so we can get a better idea of how we write our numbers in expanded form. Expanded form is simply the sum of the value of each digit. So we're going to start out with the number that's in the largest digit, which is right here, or the largest place value, which is right here in the hundred thousands place. This 2 has a value of 200,000. So we're going to write that number out, 200,000. To it, we're going to add the number in the next place value spot, which is in the 10,000 spot. We have 6 10,000s, or 60,000. In the next place, we have a 1 in the 1,000 spot, or 1,000. Then we have a 3 in the hundreds place, 300. A 5 in the tens place, giving us a value of 50. And a 4 in the ones place. And now I have successfully written out my number in expanded form. And on to the last one, expanded notation. Again, expanded notation uses notation to expand out the number. So you're going to see parentheses and a plus sign with expanded notation. And you're expanding it out into groups of each value. So let's start with the largest place value, the hundred thousands place. I have 2 groups of 100,000. To that, I'm going to add 6 groups of 10,000. We continue on with 1 group of 1,000. 3 groups of 100. 5 groups of 10, and 4 groups of 1. And that is how you write your number out in expanded notation. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you have learned a little bit about place value.